welcome back to another Conductor Monday live stream. I am joined by TommyToonWorld, Orange Grove 55, George the Italiano. Tonight we have an amazing show. We're going to talk all about the Disneyland 70th, the food, the merch, the shows. We're also going to talk about some breaking news that just happened today at Walt Disney World at Epcot with the popcorn stand blowing up, probably because George got a little pissed off at Daddy Josh, so it blew up. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift vehicles showing up on property as well at Universal. So before we get started, TommyToonWorld, it's always great to have you on the show. Where can everyone find you on social media?
What's up, Conductor? Looking forward to seeing you this weekend. What's up, OG and Disney Italiano?
What's going on, Tommy Toon?
Yeah, I'm ready for this weekend. Yeah, so you guys can find me on YouTube at TommyToonWorld and Instagram at TommyToon_.
Absolutely. Orange Grove 55, always great to have you on the show. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Thank you, Conductor, for having me on, and these other fine gentlemen, Tommy Toon, Mr. Italiano. Always a pleasure, guys. Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube talking theme parks and movie, film, all that good stuff at Orange Grove 55, and you can also find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55.
Perfect. George the Italiano, the spicy Italiano. Yes. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I can't wait to dive into all these topics with you fellas. It's always a good time. I'm more excited than a Kardashian going into a Sephora.
Good Lord. Oh, man. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely. Well, you could actually find me also on Orange Grove 55 with my segment Citrus Corner, where I cover all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And you could also find me on my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55, where I do all covering of in-park vlogging at Disney, Universal, Cruise Line, all that good jazz. And you could also find me on social media on Instagram, Threads, and Bluesky under the Disney Italiano.
Absolutely. And you can find me, Theme Park Conductor, on YouTube, Instagram, Bluesky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can find me every Sunday. But this weekend, you can almost find me every single day, whether you're at the parks or on YouTube, filming for the Disneyland 70th. You can also now, 2 days ago, I got remonetized back on YouTube, so you can send those super chats. I have memberships live on the channel, so you could go check that out. And it's going to be an exciting time, gentlemen, at this Disneyland 70th. But like I said, we got to talk about the breaking news that happened today. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to talk about this because this is scary. I don't know about you fellas, but having a popcorn bucket explode like that is not a great start for Epcot.
So what you're saying, should we get the popcorn for this segment?
We probably should.
Probably should. It's actually like in my hair and in my pockets. It's everywhere. It's just all over the floor. Popcorn's everywhere. Just grab a handful, gentlemen.
It's pretty bad. So let me pull it up here and then let's watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
Uh-oh. So that's, I don't know. It's a weird thing because sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I'll just play the video just in case. Yeah, but
no worries. This is what? Oh my god! This is my first time seeing this footage, dude. That is crazy. Oh man. Oh, white That's smoke. Rough. So we got it. We found a new pope, huh? Awesome.
He is American.
He is. Dude, that's wild, dude. Oh gosh, that is absolutely crazy.
So they said it's an American pope. So does that mean that this is going to be Iger's new job when he's done with CEO?
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, this is crazy though that this happened. I mean, that's some scary stuff, man. I mean, I can kind of see like how this might happen with the hot oils and all that stuff kind of in there, and I can kind of see that, but this is not a good look for Disney at all.
No.
And extremely dangerous. So yeah, I mean, nobody was hurt with this thing, right? From what I understand.
As far as I know, no one was reported injured, which thank God. That's always the best thing.
But see, it begs the question though, even though it was at Epcot on the East Coast, with everything going on at the Disneyland 70th with massive crowds reported to be there this week, do you think something like this alarms people? Because there's a lot of popcorn stands throughout every single land of Disneyland, whether you're walking through Frontierland, Tomorrowland, all that. Are you guys nervous seeing something like this, that it may or may not happen at Disneyland?
I'm not really that nervous about it. I mean, honestly, this is, I think, kind of a fluke situation, and I don't think the normies are really going to care. Like, I'm in this Disney bubble, like pretty hardcore, and I literally didn't know about it until like right before we started going live. So yeah, I don't think it's going to make like a lot of headlines necessarily. I think our little Disney nerd bubble, we'll talk about it for a day or two, and that's about it. So I don't think it's going to make really much of an impact. Now, where it might impact is if it's a fault of maybe one of the cast members or something, they might get reprimanded, something like that. Maybe a maintenance person messed up. Who knows? Again, I'm just speculating. But in terms of like ramifications with like, guests and like that perception, yeah, I don't think the normies are going to worry that like popcorn buckets are just going to randomly like spontaneously combust. I think we're okay. But what say you, Tommy Toon?
I don't know. I'm just wondering how long they took to put it out. It all depends, because if I'm waiting in line already and I'm hungry, and there's something crazy that happens like this, I'm probably obviously going to leave and go somewhere else. But I'm not going to freak out too much. I mean, I've seen worse. So, of course,
you wouldn't stay in line to check their new flavor, charbroil.
Charbroil.
I probably should, bro. I probably should, but no, like I'm not too worried about it. Like, to me, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, Disney's going to get it done, man. They're going to fix it,
Yeah. This is so minor compared to the dragon that caught fire at Fantasmic and Disneyland. This is nothing, but it's just the mere fact that it happened. It's like, really? So.
Speaking of that, if you don't mind, because I know you already have like segments, but
yeah, sure.
To bring that up actually a little bit, because I was actually talking to our good friend, Mr. Webba, about this, because he actually brought this to my attention, that someone had posted online that recently they're doing 2 shows of Fantasmic, but the second show, they're not doing any finale pyro.
Interesting.
And when it comes to the finale with Mickey, they don't even have the switch, like where it shows like Sorcerer Mickey on top of the cabin, and then, puff of smoke, and then Mickey appears down at the bottom. They're not even doing that. It's just the Sorcerer Mickey completes the whole entire show, and then that's it. But there was no pyro. They just kind of like shut the lights out, and then Mickey goes through the trap door, and that's that. And they said that's been recurring now, but it's only with the second showing. And so he and I were talking about it, and it begs the question to the fact that because Fantasmic dinner packages are pretty like a must do for a lot of people.
Sure.
And it's like, if I'm paying for a dining package, I'm expecting to get the full show.
Yeah.
Or you better cut like some of that bill off my food. Because a lot of people may not be aware of that for the second show, because they may be thinking, okay, it's less, crowds, people are leaving, they're going home, we have more room and everything, but you're only getting a subpar show.
So it's only the second show.
That's what he told me. It's only the second show.
So if it's only the second show, then it's something to do with, it's not broken, obviously, because they're able to do it on the first go. Yeah. So they're probably working on it or something, and they need the extra time. So that what they do is they do the first one as is, and the second one they don't do it. They probably have people working on whatever they're working on, and that's why they're not doing it.
The reason why I brought that up to kind of tie to this story, because I brought it up to Ebba when we were talking about it. Do you think Disney at some point that they're like really trying to wean out the fire and the pyrotechnics? moving forward with a lot of like the nighttime stuff due to the fact of like what happened with the drag, because we still don't even know like what the ramifications are when the new dragon comes on. Like we don't know if it's going to have like the fire nozzle. Is fire going to spit out? Are they going to do just an effect that it looks like it's going to breathe fire? So I guess it's just one of those things, because it seems like every time like Disney gets caught in a backdraft, no pun intended, it's like they always have like some sort of issue when it comes to like fires and pyro.
I would think that if it was something like that though, like where it was like they're like kind of scared to have pyro, it would be both showings, not just one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they're scared of the pyro, it would be the first and the second showing. They wouldn't just have one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Do you think that they're trying to wean it down?
Probably. Well, see, the other thing too is once they do build the new dragon, if they haven't already started, I don't know what the regulations are going to be, because excuse me, in Southern California, we just have a horrendous problem. Just in California in general, we have a horrendous problem with wildfires. Yeah. So even if they brought the dragon back, I don't know. I don't know if they would even be permitted to have what they had before, where it shoots out fire out of its mouth, or it'll be an effect looking like fire. Because, you know, obviously California doesn't need any more fires. You know, OG can kind of relate to that, because he was close to one of the recent fires and it burned down quite a bit. And I'm out here in the San Diego region, and I felt that all the way out here. So, yeah, I don't know. Tommy, what do you think about that?
Well, you know, I was wondering, like, if it's for sure always the last one, then it has nothing to do with the wind then. But I didn't know if it was like late night wind in Anaheim. I wasn't sure, but maybe it's like what OG's saying. Maybe it's maintenance, or maybe they're trying to cut back on like utilizing, you know, like everything. But then like Italiano said, then you should cut some of the check down if I'm getting that reservation, you know.
Exactly.
That's the hard thing. Yeah. Where else do they use fire? I mean, they don't use it in World of Color or anything. So I see where you mean, like pyrotechnics. Oh, they do?
I thought they did. Am I wrong, OG? I thought they used
briefly. I know they did in the original, like for the Pirates of the Caribbean section, and like
Chernobog.
Briefly, Chernobog. Like they used it briefly, like for World of Color. I can't remember if they used it at all for World of Color 1. Chris West says yes, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so then would they? Hey, shout out Chris West.
Yeah.
Yeah, like would they wean it out over there too? Then I mean, like I wouldn't want to see that, you know.
Yeah, I think if it was a weaning off thing, like in terms of like, you know, they don't want the fire due to safety issues and stuff, I think we would see it more across the board, and we're kind of not, you know. So I think, yeah, Abby's here saying it's a maintenance thing. It's likely a maintenance thing if it's just that second showing. World of Color is going off, I'm assuming, with the pyro still. You know, I mean, Universal still has pyro and stuff, so I don't think it's necessarily even a California thing. I think it's just a maintenance thing that they're working on, and I think that they'll eventually bring it back. But like George was saying, and I got to concur, I agree with him. You know, I mean, you're paying for a dining package, you want the full show. You know what I'm saying? You want the full show. So, you know, I think it's kind of cruddy that you pay for Fantasmic and then, you know, they don't have like the full Fantasmic. I mean, it's bad enough you don't have the dragon already, and then now they're cutting from that. So.
Yeah. Exactly. And Disney, in a way, you know, whenever it's come to something like that, or just trying to get a refund in general, I've always had issues trying to get a refund from Disney on certain things. So I agree with you fellas. If you're paying the amount of money for that dining package, you want the full show, the full entertainment. You don't want just partials of it. And if it is going to be partials of it, it should be something where they should let you know before you buy the ticket. That way you're aware of it. So who knows? The next topic we're going to get into is the foodie guide. But before I get into the foodie guide, and I guess it's going to relate to the foodie guide and the merch we're going to talk about next, is I want to ask you fellas, because it's been an ongoing problem, at least at Disney, where a special event comes up like the 70th, for example, and they release the merch early. So that way, people go in, they buy like 20 shirts, or I'm being over dramatic, but they buy like 20 shirts and 10 popcorn buckets and all this. And the people that actually pay for the event to go there and be at this event, they don't even get a chance. It sells out. Do you think Disney at some point, maybe even for the 70th, will say, hey, we need to release the merch a lot more carefully than we have done in the past? Or you think they're going to continue to be greedy? Because it also goes with the food guide too.
So are you saying because of the resellers?
The resellers and just the fact that there's no limit on a lot of the stuff. Because I saw a post a few weeks ago, or no, not a few weeks ago, about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, that a guy posted on X. I forgot who posted it. He went in for May the 4th, the Star Wars event, and you see this guy with 20 popcorn buckets. You know what I mean? There's like no limit, and it kind of ruins it for everybody else. And since a lot of this merch is exclusive, a lot of this merch is limited, do you think they're going to have limits on people buying it? Or you think Disney's just going to let it ride?
I think they're going to let it ride. Disney has shown, in my opinion, they don't really care about the resellers and all that stuff. They haven't really taken, they haven't really cracked down on it in any serious way. So I don't see why that would change now, in my opinion.
Yeah. George?
I think I agree with OG. I think all Disney really cares about is hitting their quota. As long as, it's selling from their shelves, their stores, their vendors, they're collecting it however someone wants to do with it. Once it's in their possession, that's up to them. But I think if Disney were to, because I think what happens with that is because no one would ever really know how many times someone is buying like a popcorn bucket. Like if they were to implement that within like the park ticket or the Magic Key, where it's like, okay, it's already scanned through. Okay, you hit your limit, you're done. But I think what a lot of people do is they bring in groups of people and they kind of divide and conquer, and you can buy up to 2 per person. So if you have a group of 8 and they all go to different locations that have the popcorn buckets, you each buy 2, that's 16 popcorn buckets right there, But when it comes to like the long-term events, I feel like that, I don't know, for me, I feel like the 70th is pretty much secured in a sense. Like so far I've seen decent merch, but I don't think there's really nothing that's like it's like flying off the shelves for now. When it comes to like the after hour events, like for instance, like with the 90s night when Disney released the merch 3 hours before the event even started, and everything was off the shelves before 9 o'clock. To me, I don't understand that. Like, because if it's exclusive merch for an after hours event, first of all, you wait till everybody is out of the park who is not attending.
Sure.
Then once 9 o'clock hits and everything kicks off, you start a queue, have so many people go in. That's where they should kind of limit and really watch to say, okay, you can only buy so much of this. Yeah. You could buy everything in the store, but like depending on the bulk, that should be the limit. Because for merch to sell out of an after hours event, literally 3 hours before the event even starts, to me is ridiculous.
That is nuts. I do want to give a quick shout out though to Theme Park Casual. Check him out on YouTube, everybody. He does a lot of in-park vlogging and things like that. So if you're into the in-park vlogging, the live from the park, Mr. Theme Park Casual, selling merch prior to the official start is dastardly. I like that. Does dastardly. That's interesting. Mobile orders too. None in start time. Yeah, 100% casual. 100%.
And again, it comes down to the merch and the food. One term I love, and I think it came from your channel, OG, is like with the after hours events, selling that fast of the merch for the 90s night. And I think, George, you even mentioned it as well. As long as people buy the merch and they go nuts for the merch, you know, it's not showing the company that you're basically telling the company, oh yeah, just be greedy and just, you know, release a special merch or release special foods before the event even starts. And the term I like from you guys is vote with your wallet. That's how you show. That's how you show a company, you know, what direction they should go in. Is you
well, this is another thing I don't understand when it comes to like retail and sales and product and everything, because I worked that for 9 years.
Sure.
And this is something that I've never understood. When you have a high demand item, that's flying off the shelves, that's like the least amount that they put on back order.
Yeah.
But the stuff that people don't want, they'll order bulk after bulk after bulk, and it's like they got it sitting in the back room and bought. It's like, why did you put so much of an order of this item when you can clearly see it's not selling? So stop ordering that and order the stuff that is going. You'd have a bigger enough profit. And that's not just Disney. That's a lot of like wholesalers and corporations. I used to, you know, work for one. I won't name it, Hallmark, but I didn't understand, like, you know, why that would always drive me nuts. And I would like, you know, for the inventory, why are you ordering the stuff that like doesn't sell?
Yeah. Cause I, you know, a long story short, I work for Costco. So one of the biggest things is just up to recently, like a few months ago, those Pokemon card packs that we sold. We only ordered like maybe 10 pallets. Meanwhile, in our steel, we probably have 60, 70 boards of black and yellow containers. It's like, wait a second. People are rushing the Costco's to get these Pokemon card packs that has limited edition Pokemon cards, but yet we're bulking up on an item that's not selling at the moment. What the hell are we doing? You know? So I get it. I get it. But to talk about the Disneyland 70th foodie guide, first of all, what do you guys think about the food? Is there any type of food you are looking for? Any type of dessert you're looking for?
Abby, put it in the comments, because I know you kind of like focus on the food more than I do. You bring it more to my attention. I do know a lot of the desserts, again, that I didn't really like look at, but like the name wise, but they look very sweet.
Yeah,
like I could look at it and it looks like I could like piss out sugarized crystals. Like that's how sweet it is.
Yeah, it's diabetes waiting to happen. I mean, this stuff, that pizza actually looks really good though. I gotta be honest, that looks really good. Is that barbecue pizza?
Yeah, barbecue chicken and pineapple pizza slice.
Okay, I can mess with that. I can mess with that for sure. Yeah, I'm not like a big like overly sweet guy. Like that little Toy Story alien thing, I probably wouldn't mess with that.
No.
Now,
but that barbecue pizza for sure.
That alien. No, they had that during. It was one of the events. I forget. Again, Abby, throw it in there. I can't remember. I did try that. It actually wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things that they have during a lot of like I will give for the after events. I don't know if they'll have it in this variation. Is the stroganoff. If you're ever able to get Disney stroganoff during the events, that's like one of the best things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the stroganoff was actually really, really, really good. I actually went back twice to get that, 2 different days. That was actually really good.
Nice. Now, is that shaped like the Millennium Falcon, or am I tripping? No, go down. Go down a little bit.
I think it's just a piece of the steak, man. I think it's just the ribs, man. Yeah.
Looks like the Falcon. That's great.
Hey, that's on my list, though. The grilled Tahitian ribs. I kind of want to try that at Bengal Barbecue. That
looks like the shape of my ex-wife's heart.
Oh,
yeah. I'm just thinking it might taste like Hawaiian, Hawaiian barbecue ribs you get from like Ohana or L&L.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely up there.
I would say a lot of like the mainstream foods, not too much of the desserts, actually kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, it's terrible though, because man, the weekend we're all going, the opening weekend, all these reservations, all these restaurants are already all booked up. So like they dropped it, but it was like a little too late. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because man, Disney ribeye right here, you know, that's right on my menu, man. I'll grab that for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
It looks
so
good.
okay, so they are going to have the beef stroganoff.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love that.
But at what restaurant?
Abby, if
right.
you know,
If you scroll down, you could probably see it eventually.
Yeah.
This flatbread, or is it a flop over right here? This chicken bacon ranch looks pretty good. I mean, you know,
I'll try that.
They love to utilize those flatbreads.
Yeah, those drinks look pretty good too.
Oh, here it is, right here.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
The carnation. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is the reservations booked.
Oh, that's right. See, now you need a reservation. Ah, shit.
That's what I'm saying. So you can wait in line and see how long it takes, but you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I got a list for Disney 70th foods right here. I'm not going to lie.
This is the problem that I have. See, this is why you don't take kids to Disney. It takes up so much room to wait in line, to order this, to order that. It's like, why have the extra little bodies all over the parks? Like, just like eliminate that from the equation.
Now, George, that drink looks similar to the one you had at Legoland, or the three that you had at Legoland. That little tropical rum cocktail.
Yeah, it actually it does. But let me see what it said. Tropical rum. Let's see. Rum. The lime juices. I think the margarita that I had, I think it did have lime juice in it.
Yeah, it looks similar to this.
Hey, the $1 million question: did you have Webba make it for you?
No, he didn't. No,
tell you, whoever did make them, they were
strong,
smooth, but they were strong.
And he knocked those puppies back. I mean, I took one sip of my beer, bro. One sip of my beer, and I'm like, I look over, he's already done. I'm like, George, what the hell? So there's another one, boom, done. I'm like, oh, Georgie.
I think the guy who actually made it for you, George, they wanted to see the real Italiano.
Oh yeah, it came out. Believe me, it came out. That George came out.
The real Italiano came out. I will say though, our waiter when we went up to the restaurant, because me and Abby had the Citrico Central shirt with like my logo on it, and like he recognized it and everything. So I gave him a sticker and everything. So it was all cool.
Yep, he had three. They
wanted that chest hair.
They wanted the chest.
We're ready. So, looking at these items again, probably too short.
Oh, is that a banana split?
I think so.
You know, I've been urging for a banana split for like weeks.
Yeah, it says banana split.
That might be the one.
There you go.
Vanilla chocolate strawberry, topped with strawberries, pineapple, hot fudge, fresh bananas, chopped nuts, whipped cream, and a cherry on top.
I'm sold.
And Gibson Girl goes crazy, man. They don't miss over there.
No, they don't.
Every time. Yeah, right.
They don't miss.
I'm surprised that's not on reservation.
Yeah, maybe we'll all grab some of those too and do a hit or miss, man. I'm ready for it.
Absolutely.
These right here, these peach cobbler funnel cake fries are a definite must. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to get these for sure.
Damn.
Yes, absolutely. And then they got this honey sweetened cold brew with cream topper, honey drizzle, and honey cereal, non-alcoholic.
I guarantee you, shout out to Magic Journeys. Janelle will definitely be getting that for sure. I know.
100%. 100%.
I could see that 100% for sure. Yeah.
How about something like that?
Is there ice cream on it? I think Casual will probably get that one if there is.
Exactly.
See, these ones, I mean, they could be good. But these seem just a little bit too sweet for me.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, hold on, because look at this coconut macaron. Is that piled all coconut, or just right there, and then the top is just cream?
I don't know.
White chocolate, right? Because that could possibly be hidden right there. But the other one does look a little just normal. But
definitely,
let's not count out the coconut yet.
Yeah.
And we also have to remember too that these are photographs taken by Disney. When we actually get the items, they're going to be freaking like fingerprints.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the commercials with McDonald's and Burger King, the Big Mac or Carl's Jr., and then you look at it, you're like, what the hell is this? What did I just pay for? It doesn't surprise me. That Mickey hat looks pretty good. I might try that.
Yeah,
I might try that. That's not bad.
I don't know. It doesn't look that good to me. I don't know.
Tommy, so Abby is clarifying it's white chocolate dipped macarons with sprinkles of coconut.
Well, I'll take it. I think we should try it no matter what. Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Oh, look at that bad boy. What's that?
What is that? Pretzel?
Looks like
lemon chiffon pretzel. Yeah. Cream cheese filled pretzel dipped in lemon flavored icing.
Oh,
sounds pretty legit. With vanilla wafers on top. How big is this? I mean, I'm down to try it. Hopefully it's not too small.
It looks like something I ate and lost.
You know, it's funny. It's funny because I think for the 100th, they had a cream-filled pretzel as well. It wasn't like this, though. It was like purple and silver or something. And that thing was a banger, man. I love that pretzel. If it's anything like that, if this one's anything like that, man, I'm going to get it.
I'll definitely have to put that on my list to try it. How about that?
What's that? The walking taco. That's what I had as Universal that I loved. Yes.
It looks fire, man. It looks like it's hitting hard too. Fried tamale walking taco.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to be doing probably a lot of food reviews for this weekend. A lot of ones.
Yeah. Shredded cheese. Just keep the sour cream off. I'm not a sour cream guy, but the rest of it looks fire.
Oh,
okay, have you guys had Disney tuna? Because this is looking right up my alley. It almost looks like
actually that looks really good. I love a good tuna melt. So if that is like a downright like straight up tuna melt, like that would be legit.
Definitely.
Let's do it. That's one too.
Oh yeah.
In the Red Rose Tavern, isn't that where's that located? I forgot. Isn't that the one that's getting a remodel? Or
that's the one in Fantasyland across from Dumbo. I mean, across from Storybook Casey Jr.
I'm thinking of something else. Okay, gotcha. Interesting foods.
I forget, what was that again before it was Red Rose?
Village House, Pinocchio.
Pinocchio's
there you go. What is that? Pulled pork mac and cheese bread bowl. Ooh.
Oh man, Tommy, we're gonna be eating good this weekend, bro. This looks like some good stuff, dude.
This is it. This is on the list already. Yep. I'm ready.
Speaking of which, if you want a good mac and cheese bread bowl minus the pulled pork, I just recently had it over in San Francisco. They have a phenomenal mac and cheese bread bowl.
Nice.
I'll have to check it out.
Definitely. Same here. Look at these pancakes from Riverbell Terrace. Ooh.
Okay. They've got pancake rolls, man.
Yeah, man. Getting creative over there.
Yeah, they are. I'm getting hungry now, dude. This is like my oh my.
Hey, you might have an expensive DoorDash tonight.
I might. Yeah, I'm a DoorDasher. I love DoorDash, but those delivery fees add up.
Yeah, exactly.
When we're out there, we all should reach out to Dave. Shout out to Dave from Fresh Baked. Yeah, he always chooses someone and he does like an order for someone.
Yeah, just a sidetrack just for a minute. I think that is absolutely amazing. He does that. That for him to be able to do that's shout out to David for that.
Absolutely. Dave's a good dude, man. We had him on the channel once before, and it was a lot of fun talking shop with him. I've been a fan. We've all been fans of him for years. I mean, he's awesome, dude. He is Disneyland, right? Like his construction updates and what he does, man. He is so good at all that stuff. So, yeah, big shout out to Dave. Fresh Baked.
Fresh Baked. Dude, those
right here, these potatoes look fire right here. We got the chili cheese baked potato,
the wedge
and chicken pot pie baked potato.
Oh, damn.
Shit.
That might be it.
Yeah.
That might be it. Which one looks more appealing, fellas?
I would just get the one just because it's named Wed.
Wed.
Baked potato.
I'd probably get that one just because it doesn't have sour cream on it.
Oh, chicken pot pie. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Is that a Frito pie? What is that?
All right, this is at Disney California Adventure. This is at Schmoozies. It's a chili cheese corn dog. It's not at Schmoozies. It's at Corn Dog Castle, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Chili cheese corn dog.
Man.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I have a
get
problem.
that one, yeah.
I have a problem with, and as I said, I was ordering for a banana split, and that may be good, like a banana split churro. I have an issue with themed like churros. Like, they're hyped up, but for me, I don't really get like what makes them so popular. Just give me a classic churro, a classic Disneyland churro. I'm good to go.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I do have to admit though, because I'm a big fan of Oreo in general, just not the mint one, but a big fan of Oreo. So once in a while, this is before the Wonderful World of Sweet shop opened up in downtown Disney, I would stop at the little booth in downtown Disney where they sell the churros, and I would get like an Oreo churro, and that hits the spot for me. But since that candy shop opened up, now it's the caramel popcorn. Now I'm addicted to that. So
there you go.
Man, it's crazy. Like everybody gets hyped up for something new at Disney and then drops all the heat, and then the next day it's like it's over. Like no one talks about the sweet store, no more. Like it's crazy. Like
it's crazy,
like
Tom.
The hitter right there, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like hot. Everything's like hot in this community for like a day or two, or maybe even a week at the most, and then you never hear about it again.
Whoa!
Right.
Con candy mango chile. What the hell?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
That's definitely for the Hispanic and Mexican crowd right there for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Shout out to our Latinos. Let's go.
Yeah, but I thought this was cool. They're doing this at 2 different locations, maybe 3. The pink dragon fruit mimosa. How quick are these acrylic flutes going to disappear, though? That's what you say. They're not prepared a lot of the time. Man, this Disney 70th is going to last a long time. I heard like even almost a year, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like,
it's the celebration is supposed to run to summer 2026.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're going to have. What I think is going to happen is the demand for it they'll probably sell out for X amount of time until they actually get a restock. So
absolutely.
Brandon Smith is saying 18 months. Yeah, usually Disney does 18 months.
Yeah.
For their celebration. So this will go probably until like right before the holidays of 2026. So that's cool, man. I mean, that's
so let me ask you guys something, just to go off topic for a second, because originally before the 70th, before we got close to the 70th, the Walt animatronic at the Lincoln Theater was supposed to be ready for the 70th, but now it got pushed back to July, which is the actual 70th for Disneyland. Do you think with this event going on for 18 months, they might do a special kind of food item, special merch to promote the Walt animatronic?
You know, here's the thing, Conductor, with that, and I was saying this on my channel the other day too, where we talked about the animatronic.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between paying homage to this man and respecting and honoring what he brought to this world, and exploiting him.
Yeah.
So I think the animatronic, I think you're fine there, but if you start like going overboard with like the other stuff, I feel like it could look a little kind of gross. You know what I'm saying?
Like the Walt animatronic shortbread cookie.
Yeah, I just feel like when you go too far with the Walt, it might look a little bit tacky, but who knows? I mean, they do have some Walt stuff in the part, like you can get like the partner statue on a shirt, things like that. But they got to be careful with that stuff, man. Like if they go too far with it, it looks like you're kind of like exploiting. It looks like you're a little sleazy. You know what I'm saying?
In a way, they do kind of honor it somewhat because they have that wed chili baked potato, because chili was one of Walt's favorite foods.
Yeah, but see that to me is like a hidden like wink and a nod. Like the average normie's not going to know that. Or even like you can get the lemon. Oh, what's the name of his favorite drink? The Scotch Mist. Scotch Mist. You can get that. You can get that like at 1901 and what have you. A lot of people like it's kind of like those hidden little like Walt like this thing. But if you go in there like just crazy balls out, like you're like openly like you got a bunch of Walt faces on like a cookie and
that's
stuff.
Why I'm glad that they did take it that route. I would rather them do like the chili and the Scotch Mist.
Yes, me too.
Okay,
100%.
So I want to ask you guys real quick, since I was scrolling through it, out of these popcorn buckets, Tommy, I already know where you're going. Which popcorn bucket are you most excited for?
Harold. I want Harold.
This one right here.
That sipper is going crazy, bro. That's the one.
I want Harold.
And the locations are crazy. They're at like every location. I mean, this is not going to sell out. Like, of course it's going to sell out, but like, I mean, the first weekend at least you'll have a chance, you know.
I think I'm for the sipper, and I think I'm for this the Mickey Mouse popcorn bucket.
Did you guys hear about the bucket, the Mickey Mouse bucket, or no? I just seen something on it today.
What's that?
No, it was out for a week or so. I think they.
No, I just saw info on it today. They said it's possibly like the Chucky bucket from HHN, where it lights up and talks on voice command.
That's dope.
It's $51. Yeah.
That's dope. Now, I do want to say, Theme Park Casual, if you don't mind bringing up his comment, thank you, Conductor. He said Tom Hanks' weird accent in Saving Mr. Banks was annoying for me. Yeah, this was actually one of the big issues I had with it too, Casual. He sounded too Southern for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He didn't sound like.
I'm going to take that one step further. And this, I said this for quite some time with certain roles. Now, here's the thing. I absolutely love Tom Hanks. I think he's a brilliant, prolific actor, you know. Yeah. But when you are taking a public face that everybody knows as Tom Hanks, but then you're going to put him in a role that it's a public figure everybody knows, Walt Disney. For me, it felt like Tom Hanks playing Walt Disney. Yeah. Like, I wish that they would have got someone a little bit more original, kind of like new upcoming, that didn't really have a face out in like the public eye, like for Hollywood. For instance, the actor who played in I forget his name in the American Pie series, he played young Walt in the movie Walt Before Mickey. Anyone who has not watched that movie, very good movie. It's like a biopic of Walt's early life before he became famous.
Yeah.
I wish they would have went that route, but anytime they get this big like Hollywood name and they're placing it as another big Hollywood, icon, like, to me, it's just like kind of lost in translation for me.
Yeah, it's a good point, George. Where like you see Tom Hanks, you know, and it didn't work. And, you know, I appreciate the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was kind of cool to see Disneyland. It's very rare to see Disneyland in film like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of cool. All that stuff was awesome. But man, Tom Hanks, I don't know. He just didn't really do it for me. And that's a tough role, though. Walt Disney is hard to duplicate. So,
for sure.
Hey, real quick, since you guys are talking entertainment and stuff, man, did you guys see on Disney Plus that they're dropping little Disney 70th POVs?
Oh, I did not. That's interesting.
So they have a Batu walkthrough. I'm like, Disney said, screw it. We're not going to even do anything on YouTube or flag you or nothing. We're going to come out with our professional ones, because they got Batu walkthroughs. They got a Rise of Resistance. They got and it literally says POV. Like, if you go on Disney Plus, like, it has Disney 70th next to it, and if you're like walking through it, and they set everything up just for the one person walking through with the camera, walking through Rise of Resistance. It's super professional. It looks pretty good. Yeah, you guys should check it out. That's
pretty cool, Tommy, because like they have that platform. Why not utilize it more like that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's awesome, and that's different. That's something that you can't. That's something you can't get on Netflix. That's a Disney exclusive kind of thing. So it kind of sets that streamer apart from the others. I like it. I like it a lot.
Right. Because they kind of get on like people doing POVs and posting POVs on YouTube all the time. They don't like. That's not their grip to get you in for a media pass, right? They don't really like people that do POVs, because that's their moneymaker, is the ride. And if people are watching it all the time, then they're not going to come do the ride. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So just to go back on that popcorn bucket, shout out to Chris West. He said it's $51.99. So it's expensive. It's expensive. And then he also said about that POV, I guess they did it for May the 4th as well. So that's
sick.
Geez, $51.99 for a popcorn bucket. My divorce was cheaper.
Hey, shout out to the chat. I think that's what, the second ex-wife joke or the third one?
Second joke.
Second joke.
Second joke.
George is on a roll. I love it.
I'm not part of this. I don't know.
It's always like, I'm good on this. I'm good.
Oh man. So when I look at this popcorn bucket, I don't know. To me, this kind of looks generic. It doesn't look like it's, like it's like, oh my god, I have to go rush and go get that. Now the sipper and then that Mickey one, okay, that's eye appealing to me. So I don't know. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just it looks too basic for me.
Yeah, it looks like merch we've seen a million times in the past.
Just
I want that magic key insulator bag though. You guys are gonna have to help me get that because I don't got a key.
Definitely. That's definitely that Fantasyland cup though. That tumbler looks pretty cool.
This one is cool with the map and everything. Yeah, that one's dope, dude. With that kind of vintage looking art style. I like that.
Yeah, that's definitely nice. And then you got the marquee bottle topper. That's not again, generic.
Chris West brings up something. He says, I think it's interesting. We haven't really heard from the new Disneyland president or hasn't had an Instagram presence like Ken Potrock.
That is interesting. Because he started, I think, in like April or March, something like that, right?
I think late March.
Yeah, we haven't. That's interesting. Good point, Chris. Good eye. Very good eye.
Definitely.
I'm assuming he's probably going to make like some sort of speech, I would think. Maybe.
We'll see. This weekend, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny because I've watched a lot of your videos, and one of the things as a public figure, even like Josh tomorrow trying to be in the CEO contender race for the Walt Disney Company, you want to get yourself out there, and if no one knows who you are, then how can I put it? How can people sit there and have faith in you to do the job? And like you guys said, we haven't really heard anything from this new Disneyland president. So I think coming on the first day of the Disneyland 70th event and making a public social statement, and then maybe doing it again every so often, and then do a public with media and all that for the Walt animatronic in July would really put him on the map.
You know, this is not Disney related, but I do want to give him a shout out because I think the way he handles, like what you were just saying, Conductor, the way he handles like the public or what have you, like PR, G Prodigy of Universal Creative.
Yeah.
Super cool guy, man. And like the thing I love about him is like he'll be like on like social media and he'll be like reposting like fans' reaction to like Monsters Unchained and stuff, which I think is really, really cool. You don't see that a lot with high level executives and people like in his position. I even replied to his story and he sent me a DM back and he was like, thanks, bro. Like, I mean, he is really down to earth and a super nice guy, man. Universal's really lucky to have him. Not only is he super cool about stuff like that, but he also produces banger after banger, Velocicoaster, Monsters Unchained. So this guy is legit. I really, really like him a lot, dude. I like the way he handles himself. I like his work all around. So he's like a master class at how to handle like the public and like kick ass at your job, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I respect the guy a lot. Well, it's so funny you mentioned that. Just to go off topic for a second, was that when I was at FanFest nights for the grand opening night, one of the things I can solely respect was we were all at Hill Valley because I did the VIP tour for that because I want to make sure I experienced everything because it was the first night. I didn't know what the lines were going to be. And one of the things I did was in Hill Valley was I met Mark Woodbury. Mark Woodbury is a class act, man. Even though he had his entourage around him, because most VPs do, just to go up to him, shake his hand, tell him, wow, you've done an amazing job with not only Epic Universe, but your position, everything you've brought to the company, the theme parks, just wow. And it was, I told him it was an honor to shake your hand. And I love people like that in the industry. Someone that is not afraid to go out in the public view, meet people that support the company that he works for, and kind of just hang out like just a normal guest.
100%. And as critical as I am about Josh Giamaro, because a lot of the way he's running the park division, there's a lot of things I'm not happy with.
Yeah.
But one thing that he's really, really good at is that part of it, where he goes out there, he talks to people. He had a conversation with our friend Jared from Capture the Magic, and Jared was like, yeah, the guy was like super down to earth. He was asking him what he thought about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and stuff, and like he was really genuinely interested in his opinion. Like, that's cool. And again, like I said, as a park chief, I have a lot of issues, but as a person and the way he kind of handles people, the dude has charm, charisma. He knows how to handle people, and that's definitely like his strength, I think. So
definitely. And then yeah, I love people like that in the industry. I think it shows the type of character you have as a person, and you don't even have to be an executive. Like there was a talk a long time ago, and it's been an ongoing issue where a lot of these content creators, not us in a way, but just some content creators, I'm not going to name names, but a lot of them kind of get a little aggressive when they're in the public, and they don't like to meet people. Like, people will go up to them and say, hey, how you doing, and they'll get kind of a negative response back. So I kind of feel it is the same way. You know what I mean? It's a respect thing, and if you have an audience behind you and you're going to throw yourself out there in the public, the least you can do is be respectful for the people that kind of follow you.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But going back to this, I want to get I want to get this cup, dude, because one thing screams at me: people mover. You see that? People
yeah. Come on, yeah. Come on,
I
Disney, bring it back. Bring back let's get the people mover back at Disneyland. That'd be awesome.
Here's the thing, there's many different ways to interpret that. Is that them utilizing the people mover to pay tribute to what Disneyland had, throughout the 70 years of the park's existence,
Sure.
or is it a sign of things to come back?
I've been fooled and tricked into the people mover coming back way too many times at this point. I think
you're done. You're over.
I'm done.
They actually announce it.
I want it to come back 100%. I want them to do it, but yeah, stuff like that. I think it's just nostalgia for the merch, unfortunately, I wish it was something, but who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe on July 17th, that'll be like a big announcement, and we'll be like, what? Oh my God. Well, we'll see.
See, what I find interesting is something like that where the attraction has been, I'm just going to call face value, dead, for so long, and the fact that they keep making merch for such a dead attraction means that attraction is not completely dead. That Disney still has that attraction or some remnants of it in the back of their mind. It's not forgotten. It's not shelved and gone forever. So I don't know. Maybe there's a sign for the future. I don't know. Maybe.
See? Yeah, I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, and just some of these drinks look, man,
absolutely. Fire. Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, little lagoon. Oh my God, look at that. What is that?
It's a big old donut.
Yeah, sugar crash waiting to happen right there.
Yeah, big time.
Oh my God. Yeah, sugar cookie, more like diabetes cooker.
Diabetes, yeah. That's the type 2 cookie. Yeah, absolutely.
Like this right here. That's like Instagram worthy right there.
Yeah, and they're calling it a giant cupcake. I wonder how giant it is.
Yeah.
Probably the size of my pinky.
They should actually Tommy, that's interesting, that picture. They should give you like a reference point to see how big it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Something. Kind of see how big it is.
Yeah.
You got these right here, man.
That's kind of an interesting design, the Mickey balloon, how it looks like it's kind of drawn on there. That's kind of cool.
I like that. That.
It's pretty sick.
Let's see. Well, that one kind of looks generic, like they just threw a bow tie on it just to say, oh, look at it, it's mini-me.
It's mini.
Yeah, so what are those? Ooh, dude.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting those churro bites. I'm getting those churro bites. Those are calling my name. They're screaming it.
Now, have you ever had churro bites?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because every single time that I've gotten them, they are like hard as a rock.
I hope not. If I'm going to pay
it's like biting a brick.
Asking, I hope they're not. I hope they're fresh. Well, I shouldn't say that because 99% of the time when I've done the food festivals, it seems like nothing's fresh. So,
yeah, and they got some ice cream there for theme park casual. They got that cool looking like purple drink in the top left. That's interesting.
Yeah, it says French. What does that say? French 70s with gin, prosecco, lemon juice, and lavender simple syrup.
Okay,
interesting.
Okay. That's a jazz kitchen. Okay,
nice.
Oh, look
and
at
probably
this.
Speaking of the jazz kitchen, when you get the chance, go over to my channel, Citrico Central. Abby and I just did a dining vlog where we had our waiter basically order our dinner for us at the jazz kitchen. It's a great video. Shout out to Ben, who was our waiter, and it was a great time. Great staff, great experience. But yeah, definitely check that on Citrico Central.
Look at this.
Is that coffee?
Yeah, coffee.
Yep,
and coffee.
What? Okay. You know, one thing I really like about the 70th sort of like designs and stuff, they're kind of bringing the fun back. Like that was the one critique I had about the 60th. It kind of took itself too seriously with all the diamonds and all this stuff. You know, it was like this 70th is like really colorful and fun. Definitely. And I like that. Yeah, because when Walt would celebrate these anniversaries, like the 10cennial or whatever it was, it was like a fun vibe. Like he had like the dancing cake slices in front of the castle, and it was like a real party. It didn't go like overly serious. It didn't take itself way too seriously. And the 70th kind of reminds me of that, where it's like colorful. There's confetti. It's just a fun party, as opposed to the 60th, where it's like 60 years ago. A man with a vision. You know, it was a little too hardcore for me. You know what I'm saying? Let's have some fun back into these celebrations. Let's party.
Oh, definitely. I do have to say, though, for the 60th, though, they did a wonderful job with that. I have to admit it. So when it comes for the 80th in 10 years, I really hope it's like the 60th. But like to OG's point, a little funner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just have some fun with it. Just be a little light. You know, this feels like a very light kind of just like, hey, we're having a party. And I like that.
I think for me, I think they're going a little bit more lighter and more fun for the 70th because I feel like the more upscale one is going to be for the 75th.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
So, but I was kind of hesitant on the color scheme. I thought that they were utilizing too many colors at once, but actually being there a few days ago to actually see some of the signage and it actually doesn't look as bad in person.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like on websites and stuff.
Definitely. So the next topic we're going to talk about is the merch. The merch so like we were talking earlier with the merch, I hope when I get there on Thursday, I hope a lot of it's not sold out already. I don't think it will, but hopefully it's not because there are some exclusive items I do want. Is there any merch, any of you guys that you're looking forward to that you
first off, Conductor, it looks like they still have the first wave of 70th out as I've seen on Instagram today. So, they'll drop the merch in waves. They're like on the third wave right now. I was just looking at the black and gold stuff. The hat was looking cool. It might not be on here though, but I think they'll keep restocking, man. It was pretty full at the stores I seen on the pictures from literally today. Like you said though, we'll have to see what items are really hot. I'm really curious to see if that interactive key, the interactive magic key, I'm interested to see how fast that will sell out. Probably. And like how much quantity they have, because if that's an interactive one, they should have enough for the entire celebration. But you would think, right?
You would definitely think. One of the things, just look at this, just because I'm not really someone that would wear something like this, but the fact that they have a jersey with it's black, the Disneyland, and it has the 70th. That's something I would look at for like a shirt. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So here's my take on this stuff. Now, I did get one of the shirts and Abby one for us to wear like during the kickoff of the celebration and everything. Sure. But majority of when it comes to like milestone anniversary merch, in a way, I'm kind of not really into it because I feel like once it's over, it's like a forgotten memory, and it's like you have it as a souvenir to look back and say, "Hey, I was there. I have this." But it's like I have a Disney shirt that was from back in 2006, and it had like the year 2006 on it. It had like the characters like intertwined with the numbers, and I'm like, I have the shirt, but it's like I rarely wear it because it has the year on it.
Yeah.
So, again, that's just me being like picky, but I mean, that's just how I am, like with the anniversary and like dated stuff.
Sure. Oh, Gene, any merch that you're looking forward towards?
I gotta be honest, I'm not really like a merch guy. I used to be like back in the day, but not so much anymore. But some of these are cool designs, like that jacket right there that she's rocking, that black one, that black jacket, like that's pretty cool, man. Like I like the mid-century kind of style, especially the font. Style. I love all that, and that looks really cool, man. That looks really, really cool. But yeah, I'm not really like I'm not really like a merch guy. But if I was to get merch, it would be something that kind of leans into that mid-century kind of aesthetic like that. So, like these right here are a little too cheap, and you know what I'm saying. But that jacket that the woman was wearing, that was pretty tight. I like that one. That black one was pretty tight.
Yeah, it definitely. Again, there's. From what I've seen from pictures, from videos, from David from Fresh Bake, shout out to him, shout out to buyers. A lot of great merch is ready for the 70th, and I can't wait to explore it.
Yeah. Is that a jean jacket? I can't see if that's denim or not.
Yeah, man, it's a jean jacket, and everybody online today was freaking out because it just hit. So that might be the one that sells out.
That's a fire jacket. This is the first time I'm seeing it. That's really nice. I like that.
It is.
I'm kind of curious if there's something in the front, like a little logo or something, or is that it?
So it should right here. Yeah, I think it has to, I would say.
Yeah, that's a fire jacket. I like that. So something nostalgic like this, that's that kind of brings me back a little bit. I'm not saying exactly that, but just the nostalgic feel. I kind of like that. Like that girl in the red jacket with the old Mickey Mouse logo. I like that. I like that they're reaching back to kind of like old, again, like he's wearing. I like that because I'm a huge fan of Steamboat Willie. When I was a kid, even though I was a 90s kid, one of my favorite characters besides obviously Mickey Mouse is Steamboat Willie, because he was pretty big back in the day. When not when the Depression was happening, obviously we weren't even alive then or even thought about, but I have a lot of respect for him, so that's one of my favorite characters, at least.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like this bag.
Me too.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and it's the 1950s style Mickey. If you watch the 1950s era like Mickey Mouse shorts, this is how he looked. So this is really well done. I like it.
Yeah. So they definitely hit. Again, I like that he's holding the Disneyland 70th. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's kind of it. Kind of looks a little generic, but it's cool that they put the entire map on there. But it's just a teaser.
It's cool because like it's not like so in your face where like you could rock that like normally, and it's like, all right, cool. It's subtle enough where it's not too crazy. We got a mug here. That's a pretty nice mug.
Yeah, I like that mug. I think I might pick that up. That's a nice mug. It's from the nostalgic collection. See, I want that pen.
Ooh,
that pen.
Yeah, that's the one.
I want that. That's going in my safe. I will never touch that thing. But
that's awesome.
That pen is definitely. See, I like that shirt. I know you can't really see the bottom half, but that shirt's pretty cool.
See, this nostalgia collection.
Oh,
See, yeah, these are fire. These are fire. This is like kind of like for like the super nerds like us, I think.
Yeah.
You got the Walt Disney signature on there.
Now that hoodie, I think out of everything when I did go through that hoodie is I would wear that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
100%.
It kind of reminds me, honestly, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the designs that our friend Hey Bricky does for his stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I
think that's probably why I like it, because it also gives like a quote from Walt. So again, it's like nothing like really like labeling like a specific milestone, but
I don't know what that
it's the plaque for the
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely. This is what I'm looking for right here. I love that pocket watch. I'm not a pocket watch guy, but the fact that it comes in a nice case, it's kind of, you know, it pays homage. It looks really
you spending 200 for it, or what's the most?
I might have to do a reaction video if I do it.
Man, this is crazy though. This is going hard, bro. You'd be like the only one with this, probably.
Yeah.
Stylish.
Definitely. There it is.
There's the key.
The $1 million.
That's the only thing we got, though. Is this the only media we have of the key? There's like no other photos. There's nothing. No pictures.
I don't think so, because again, this is from Disney Park blogs, and he's
right. When is Disneyland? They need to drop like a reel on Instagram before Friday of them like testing it out and showing people how to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Another POV, dude. See, like OG was saying, this is the perfect example for their streaming platform, since they've already been experimenting with POVs with May the 4th and, you know, some of the other events they've done and put it on Disney Plus. This right here would be something they could put on there, showing a cast member using it and interacting. You know what I mean? I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
Well, they do it on IG all the time when they release the buckets and the sippers. Like, we need to see this key in action, or we're going to be like the first ones doing it. I mean, like you said, that wall that was in construction that Cali Bay posted, like, how long is the line going to be? Like, are these keys going to sell out and not many people are going to have it? I want to see that first weekend when we're there.
Yeah. It does say, though, I'm going to read just a little bit of the description. It does say that there is 9 commemorative keepsake pins inside. So I don't know if this was kind of like an interactive thing. You go around the whole resort and you do these interactive spots. And then it's saying once you do these interactive spots, you get like an exclusive pin for doing it. They kind of like congratulate you for taking the time out to do it. So I don't know.
The key itself has a really dope design. I like how the old school D is like the handle and stuff. That's pretty cool, man. And again, like this picture of the mom with her little girl, the aesthetics of like the 70s is like a fun vibe, like a lot of colorful outfits and what have you. She's rocking the big green earrings. I like that. It's a big celebration, big party, and it's just fun, so
definitely. And I think that's it for the merch, but I don't know. There's a lot of merch I want to buy, guys. A lot of merch, especially this key.
You're gonna be dropping dollars at Disney, Mr. Conductor.
I know what I said earlier about voting with the wallet, but I have to make an exception.
And this is how Disney knows that they got us by the balls, because it's no matter how much that we complain and everything,
that's true.
At the end of the day, we always give in.
Hey, but I will promise you this though, guys. Whatever this costs, at least you won't see me with 10 bags walking out of the world of Disney with 10 of these. So at least
it'll just be 10 bags of different things.
Oh, that's true. That I might need security walking back to my hotel though. Maybe.
Especially if you get that pocket watch.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I'm not telling anyone I have that until I get back to the hotel. That's going to be a secret buy.
There you go.
Because I'll probably get robbed.
Man, I'm thinking 80, bro. I'm thinking 79.99. I mean, they could go 59.99. I'm hoping they're not going 89 or 99, because if they're promoting it like for a parent to buy it for their kid, maybe it's 50, maybe.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to ask you guys too, out of all the merch we kind of just reviewed real quick, do you think any of that will be excluded from using your Magic Heat discount, or you think all is up for grabs?
I think all is up for grabs. I don't see why they would do that. Yeah, okay. I think you'll get your discount. I think so.
I'm just curious, because there's been times where I've gone to Disneyland and either shopped at the World of Disney or a store inside DCA somewhere, and you can't use that because it's an exclusive item, blah blah blah. So that's why I was just curious. It happens all the time. It seems like something that catches my eye, and you can't use it, so you're gonna pay full price or not have it. So Mickey Mouse is laughing at you in the corner.
Giant Peter show.
I am nerding out hard right now. The Walt Disney Records account just liked and commented on my TikTok. Well, congratulations, Giant Peter show. I'm happy for you, for a major company to do that. Man, you're on the map. You're on the map.
There he is, Mr. Peter.
Mr. Peter,
friend of the channel. We love Giant Peter show. He's awesome. Really cool guy.
Absolutely. And then I want to ask you about this. Scott Guston posted this before we go into the shows. He said, here's a new look at Paint the Night Parade. Leading float include the large drum featuring the Disney 70th logo. Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. The parade officially debuts May 16th at the Disneyland Park. I want to ask you guys, before we go to the other page from Disney Food Blog and talking about these shows, I know there's a show that has been mostly anticipated to come back. Are you excited for this, or do you think they should have brought back a different show?
No, I think this is a smart move. The fans have been clamoring for Paint the Night to come back. It didn't have a long enough run initially.
Yeah.
And it kind of left us wanting more and more and more, And so, it was a smart move. It was a brand new parade.
Yeah.
They barely even used it. You know what I'm saying? So good on them for bringing it back. Hopefully it sticks around though. I hope it doesn't glow away when the celebration
the rain
ends.
Doesn't mess it up that weekend if it rains.
I know.
That's a good point.
I hope not. I hope not. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So this the last thing we're going to talk about is the shows. So with Paint the Night, again, it's cool that they're bringing these nostalgic shows back, and some of them, like we just talked about, Paint the Night debuted, but it was a short-lived show and then left. Is there any show between Disneyland and DCA, because both parks are going to be celebrating the 70th, but the main party's at Disneyland? Is there any show between the two parks that you guys wanted to come back that didn't come back?
Well, no, I don't. I mean, that I wanted to come back. I mean, I love Paint the Night and I love Wondrous Journey. I mean, I love both of these. I think my only critique about the entertainment, I probably, as much as I love Wondrous Journeys, I think it's probably one of the best, if not the best, fireworks show Disney has ever done. Yes. I probably would have done a Disneyland centric fireworks show, like a new one, or even if they tweaked Remember Dreams Come True and added some new stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like maybe they could have had like a Galaxy's Edge segment instead of like Star Tours or something like that.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's my only critique. But like, I'm not mad over it. I mean, I love Wondrous Journeys. It's amazing. But that would be my only thing. The World of Color, I haven't been like super, like the first show was like the first one, that 1.0 was like still the best.
Yeah.
We'll see how this one does. I do like though that how they're utilizing the emotions from Inside Out to sort of like do each segment. Like you're gonna have like, anger and joy. That's a clever storytelling device, I think, for World of Color. So there's a lot of potential here. So we'll kind of see. Got my girl Anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that character. But yeah, I think it has potential, but the World of Color shows have been real spotty for me ever since that first version. So we'll see, Well,
see, it's so funny you mention that, because with World of Color 1.0, I think because it was a brand new show, they poured so much money into it to build it and debut it. I think they were experimenting, and for us theme park fans and theme park nerds, of course. You know, when it comes to a show like that, that's completely brand new, they invest money into it, and it's basically a permanent installation where they can keep updating it over the years. I think that's the best time to experience something like that, because as they evolve, it might not it might not be that 1.0 anymore. So it's still good, but it's not as good as the original. So it's really awesome to see something like that at the very beginning stages. You know what I mean? Because they're still experimenting, so they kind of just go all out.
Yeah. Steve Davison did a great job with World of Color 1.0. I love the way the flow, no pun intended, but the flow of that show is really, really well done. I thought the idea of taking the Wonderful World of Color TV show and turning that into a nighttime spectacular, a colorful water show was really, really smart. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great, I love World of Color. I hope it sticks around, you know, for many more generations, but yeah, some of these iterations of the show though have been kind of weird. I agree with George too. I think when they add Marvel and Star Wars to it, it doesn't really work. Yeah. I don't mind Marvel and Star Wars. I'm not like a Disney purist like that. Like I wouldn't necessarily mind. I don't even mind when they add Star Wars to the fireworks show at Disneyland. But for some reason with World of Color, I don't know. It doesn't feel right for this particular show. For some reason, I can't even really pinpoint. Maybe it's that connection to the original World of Color that kind of makes it feel weird to me. But I don't know. Well, that's kind of where I'm at.
George, I want to ask you the same question. Do you think the World of Color, like OG was saying, do you think the World of Color 1.0 was at its best, and now it's kind of just, you know, they're slapping IPs into it and saying, "Oh, here you go," or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like the very first World of Color really like paid homage to like the classic, you know, TV show of like the Wonderful World of Color.
Sure.
And it just it had that finesse and that flow where it was like the classic Disney animation. And I know they kind of threw in the Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, like I was okay with that. I mean, I felt like even that was a little bit much, but it was like, you know, I digress. But that one was like the GOAT of World of Color. Then
definitely
when it came for World of Color 1, I felt like I understood the message that they were trying to convey, you know, like it just takes one. It just takes one person to just have that ripple effect, you know, and that it just kind of like that ripple grows bigger and bigger. I like the concept of it, but it's like stick to the storyline of like what that could be.
Sure.
For like just one, like you're just like throwing a whole bunch of IP. Now I'm very curious to see how World of Color Happiness goes, because is it going to fall under the same pretense as World of Color 1, where they're just taking a whole bunch of popular IP? It's like, okay, let's mash it all in there and let's see what they do with it. So I hope they have like a consistent flowing storyline with it. And then to your other question about if there was something that you would want to have seen back, but they didn't. For the 70th anniversary, I really wish that they would have brought back a daytime and nighttime parade. Have magic happens and have the night. Like to me, that was quintessential Disneyland. Actually, that was a quintessential any Disney park, especially at like a castle park. They always had a day park and a night park, and I don't know like why that's now so difficult to pull off.
I don't know. It's really bizarre to me. And to go back to OG's point, I want to ask you fellas, because when I think about it, you know, something like this for the 70th, where they're bringing old shows back, and you know they're you know bringing entertainment. The one thing I can say is I don't mind like Star Wars. I don't mind Marvel being at World of Color. I think if they're gonna, you know, do projections and a fireworks show from Disneyland, from the park, I think it needs to, especially for the 70th, it needs to focus more on the nostalgic Disney, like Walt Disney, like Steamboat Willie, Goofy, and stuff like that. I kind of feel that World of Color is kind of like the 2000 era. So like with that, they bring like Inside Out. They bring some of the newer Disney IPs, even though Star Wars has been around since the late 70s. But you know, I kind of feel like if they're going to do a projection show, it should be more on at Disneyland on the castle itself to kind of celebrate 70 years of Disneyland. You know what I mean? And the newer IPs kind of just stay at World of Color. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of line there, but
No, you're not. You're not out of line there. I mean, it just, yeah, with World of Color, I think I mean, I don't mind certain like modern IP in there necessarily, but you got to pick and choose a little bit. It's a little different. So yeah, I think that it's a different kind of show. The context of the show being connected to that old TV show, when you add like Star Wars to that and stuff, it just feels kind of weird to me. I don't know.
Definitely. And then I'm just going to catch up on the chats real quick since there was a bunch of them. Brandon Smith said from American Idol Disney night. So American Idol is celebrating Disney. So that's
they did it last night on TV. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Chris West said that means the electrical parade is going to come back for the 75th.
Oh, can you imagine?
Oh, gosh. I can't. The Giant Peter Show said World of Color 60th. Interesting. Okay. Brandon Smith said Celebrate in 2015 was arguably a Walt-centric show. Interesting. Chris West said the rumor was the projection show on Small World was supposed to be a fireworks show.
Oh, that is interesting. That's okay.
Interesting. So with what Chris said, with all
Chris, you need to do YouTube, bro. You need to hop on something.
Oh,
hell yeah.
All the time. It was fires off. I'm like, man, hop on.
Let's go. Chris, this is an invite. I'm inviting you on the show, brother. So
yeah, Chris, you're always welcome on my channel too. Orange Grove 55. Chris, just hit me up. I've seen Chris in our live chats as well. So yeah, if you ever want to jump on my channel or you want to jump on Conductor, just give us a
I'll throw it right in there. I'm also doing lives on Citrico Central. You know,
get them on it all, man. Let's
go. Let's go, Chris.
And I want to ask you guys with what Chris said about the Small World, because I understand they were updating it for the 70th. Do you think what Chris was saying, the rumor, do you think they might have a pyro show behind that? Or do you think it's just going to be for the castle?
I'm cool with just the projection. I don't really need fireworks over there, I guess. I mean, it would be a cool add-on for sure, though.
Yeah.
I feel like the only problem with that Disneyland faces when just doing projections is the castle's not really big, you know, so it's like depending on like where you're standing that you can get like a full-fledged. Now I do know that they do have like all the projections down Main Street, which that's really cool too.
Definitely.
But I feel like with Disneyland they almost need a little bit of that extra just because like the castle's not really that big.
Sure.
I feel like Magic Kingdom can get away with that though.
Oh yeah, because it's so massive.
Yeah,
you can almost see it anywhere in that park. So we'll have to see. Jared Journeys, choo-choo, click that like and subscribe button. Thank you, Jared. Always a great channel.
What's up, Jared?
Jared also says agreed on that on a daytime parade. I heard a rumor that the backstage area is smaller now because of Mickey and Minnie's railroad ride. Not sure if any of you have heard something similar. Have you heard anything like that? Because I know they bought that warehouse. They finally purchased that warehouse after years and years of renting it. They finally purchased it, which is down the road. Do you think that's the case though? Because think about it for a second. Even in Avengers Campus, you know, because now there's a construction wall between Avengers Campus and Cars Land, because now they're starting to, you know, finally build the Avengers expansion. And you know, years back with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, do you think that's why we're kind of missing the daytime parade?
It's very possible. I mean, I haven't heard that, Jared, but I mean, that's a solid theory for sure. And that makes sense, right? Like we talk a lot about like, well, why were they able to do it back in the day? Well, back in the day, we didn't have Mickey and Minnie's. I mean, that would explain why we can't now. So it's a solid theory. I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
George,
as far as I mean that is a very good theory of as why they wouldn't. But then again, it could also just be Disney doing their cost cutting thing, just to one parade. It's hard to kind of tell. But it is a very strong possibility. Now, when it comes to the purchase of the that warehouse, for me, I feel like that's definitely leaning towards like Disneyland Forward. Like they purchased that to use that for off-site storage, to where whatever they're going to be moving in there, that's going to be for future development, whether it's for Coco over at the pier, and then adding more for Avatar, wherever God knows that's going. But yeah, we'll see.
We got Mr. Webba in the house. Absolutely. He's got a couple shows on my channel. He's a great guy, Mr. Webba. He got Webba Vision and Web Shots on my channel, and a lot of great theme park insights and what have you. So yeah, big shout out to Mr. Webba.
Big shout out. He's been doing a fantastic job, and shout out to you, OG, for branching out even more, even with George's channel, Citrico Central. Both George and Mr. Webba have been killing it on their new shows. So shout out to both of you guys.
100%.
And Chris West said he's down. He's down.
Chris, let's go, bro. Let's do this, man. Let's do this.
And then we got Haunted Haunters, or Haunters Unite. That's a friend of the channel. Andre, I've known him since grade school. Me and him been going to HHN. Shout out to him. HHN since 2016. Always great to see him in the chat.
Andre, that's Andre?
That's Andre.
Oh, Andre's goated, man. He's goated for sure. Yeah. We'll see him soon, man. You know how it goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys, out of everything we talked about, is there one thing between everything we talked about tonight, one thing that you definitely want to do, and something you definitely want to just say, you know what, I'll push it off till later because we have 18 months of this event?
No, for me, because I have a hard out at 7, so this I'll kind of use this as I'll use this as my closing thoughts. But for me, the one thing I want to do, and this can sound really cheesy, but I'm just excited to sort of be at the park during the celebration and just being around everybody. Like, it was so dope, dude. Like, back in August, like, yeah, the expo was cool, but it was meeting everybody in our community. Shout out to like Victoria and Drew the Disney dude and everybody we hung out with. It was just a lot of fun, dude. And that's kind of what I'm excited for the 70th. And just being there with all of you guys, Tommy Toon, Conductor, George Italiano, Webba. Like, I'm just glad everyone's going to be there. It's going to be a big party. It's just, that's really the fun part for me personally. And all the extra stuff, like all the goodies, the food, the entertainment, that's just extra.
If I can get enough people, literally my ultimate goal is to surf down Main Street. Like just everyone just like lift me up and just like pass me down Main Street.
Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
There we go. Mr. Webba says meeting and hanging out with fandom is awesome. Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, absolutely. But gentlemen, I want to thank George Italiano, Tommy Toon, and Conductor for being an amazing host, sir. We do appreciate you, sir. Everybody at home, smash that like button, subscribe to Mr. Conductor. I got to get out of here, but thank you all so much. I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya
later.
Take it easy.
Peace out. And just to go back for a minute again, shout out to Orange Grove 55. He's always a great friend of the channel. Always have a great time having him on, whether it's on Conductor live streams or on his channel for a video. Can't wait to see him this Thursday. And George, man, I've been waiting since Universal, since the last day of the stupid Fast and Furious Supercharged to see you again, because I want to see if any more popcorn stands explode.
Of course,
on Main Street for sure. One last topic I want to ask you guys before we end tonight was about the ride vehicles showing up. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see. I just got to scroll through real quick because it was kind of far down. What do you guys think about the ride vehicles showing up for Fast and Furious?
Man, I'm excited to see these, man. We're already going to get to see Dom's vehicle in the summer takeover event. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see all these. I'm ready to see the dedication of how many they actually get out from the movie, or how far along down the franchise are we dropping these? Like, is it just like the first 7 movies, 5, 3? Like, are we getting some from Fast X? Yeah, I'm excited to see these for sure. These are going to be cool. I want to know though too, like, do we know if they're going to be like talking to you and like, or we're going to hear a lot of the actors' voices, or?
Well, see, that's something that we've all talked about. Riding these vehicles, I'm hoping, and a lot of people are hoping, there is onboard audio, because if there's not, because there's already talks that because of the studios surrounding Universal, because of the neighbors surrounding Universal, I'm talking residents, there's been talks, and probably it's going to be not happening at night when this coaster does run. When they do allow it to run at night, it's not going to have a lighting package, so you're basically going to be riding the roller coaster in the dark. So I would hope they would have the onboard audio, but again, it also depends on how loud that onboard audio is, because they don't want to cause more noise than it already is going to cost, when riding it. Because again, you got the studio right down below, you got Warner Brothers, you got all these surrounding residents that live around Universal. So it really honestly depends. George, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear like something like interact like that makes it unique as Fast and Furious, rather than just call it a Fast and Furious coaster.
Sure.
And then there you go. It's like, okay, it's just themed like you're in a car, you're going down a track. I wanted something that's going to resonate to a connection to the film franchise. I don't know if this has anything of a connection, but I know Vin Diesel did I don't know if it was like an Instagram post where he was actually inside one of the sound stages, actually down at the Universal lot. I don't know if they were recording any footage for the queue, like inside the building. That is to remain unseen. He said that they were working on some project, which I'm for sure it would have to be.
Yeah,
I would think it would have to be this. I'm excited to see the cars getting installed onto the track, because that tells me it's one step closer to opening, and then one step closer for me to be able to ride this thing, because this is one of the unique opportunities of being a California local and being able to go to the parks often, and that's literally watching something get built from the ground up.
Definitely.
Like, I remember when like dirt was just turning, there was no steel beams up, there was no track, there was nothing. They were just like laying the groundwork, and the fact that the track is done, they're putting up the vehicles, the show buildings all bricked up, and pretty soon they're going to be running like tests, and then the fact of being able to go on this, to say, okay, I watched it being built, now I'm actually riding this thing, and this thing's supposed to be a beast. So, and I'm a thrill junkie, so I'm all for it.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
And one of the things I talked about with JP Land 21, and if many of you haven't seen it yet, it's actually on the channel for a live stream I did last week with JP Land. I've been trying to get him on for quite some time. Tommy was part of that conversation, so definitely go check that out. One of the things I asked him was about this coaster, and I asked him, I said, 5-10 years ago, when Universal was still kind of growing, did you actually think that we were going to get something of this magnitude at this park? And he said, not in my wildest dreams. I never thought we would have got anything like this. So the fact that they're building, they built this massive thing, and it's going to be like the Velocicoaster sister on the West Coast, and just the sheer magnitude of it, the fact that they're expanding the theme park, the fact that they're going to build 2 on-site hotels, rumored, they're reimagining City Walk tells me that there's more to come. They're not done. They're far from being done. So, you know, this is exciting. And again, this is courtesy of Five Fires from a week or two ago when this was filmed, and it just I'm excited. And the George's point about Vin Diesel being on the lot, it's a great possibility he was either filming something for an introduction video for the queue for this, or it had something to do with the last Fast movie that's coming out next year. So either one, I'm sure he probably did both since he was on the Universal lot. I can't imagine why he wouldn't. So this is exciting stuff. This is exciting stuff,
and kind of going back to what you were saying about like, not thinking in our wildest dreams that this would happen is because of the lack of space that the park already has and how it's designed in the architecture with like escalators and the different levels of the lot. So they had to really get creative of thinking like, how can we fit this massive roller coaster of what we're planning on doing? How can we make it work? And it moved out to their benefit without like trying, because by putting it on a hill off a hillside, that's even more thrilling in itself, because you're already going down like a steep terrain of like the hillsides and what have you, and then you're going to be in this vehicle that's literally spinning you around. You're pulling some G's, and it's like that's just like icing on top of the cake.
Oh, definitely, 100%. Tommy, looking at this footage, what do you think, brother?
Well, I kind of gave you my opinion earlier, but just going off what George was saying with like, man, being on the side of the hill is going to be crazy. I'm kind of actually picturing like what the queue will be, because obviously we see the outside brick and everything, but
sure,
are they going to be having it like a mission, kind of like how they do the studio tour where you kind of get on a mission or whatever? Or is it going to be or are we going to go in and it's going to be like a straight up LA drifting race, like old school grime, down to earth, some of the fast guys are in the garage, maybe like Dom is like working on the car before you go in or something.
So
I like that idea.
So it's funny you mentioned that, because part of the studio tour, when you pass the Bates Motel, you have Norman come and greet you after he throws a dead body in his trunk. And I think it would be absolutely incredible if they had a Dom actor, in the queue, kind of exactly what you're talking about, working on his car, and he greets everybody. And so it's like a live performer, kind of like what Supercharged is out in Orlando, because I've seen that they have a live performer in the pre-show.
That was the one thing I actually enjoyed about Supercharged over in Orlando. That was the only thing I enjoyed. I enjoyed more of the pre-show than the ride itself.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So I wouldn't mind that. Jacob Weller said, here, let me pull up his post. He mentioned, he's all like, you think Fast and Furious or Demon Slayer could come to Fan Fest?
Ooh.
So I think both honestly have the potential. I know Fast and Furious was part of Universal's roster for potential choices for the next Fan Fest. And actually, Jacob, I suggested Demon Slayer with the written portion of it, because my son is a huge fan of that series, and he got some Demon Slayer merch done in Universal Orlando in City Walk, and I thought, after seeing how the anime really worked and was incorporated well with Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece for this year's, I could definitely see them doing Demon Slayer. And actually another one that they added, which I can't believe that they could, because I thought that it was more affiliated with Disney, but I guess if you like license it out, it's okay. But they actually had Spirited Away on the list as well, and I think that would be one kick-ass anime to be added to FanFest.
Oh, absolutely. Well, see, so let me ask you some, since there's so many different animes to choose from, do you think if they keep doing FanFest every single year for the next, let's say, 5 years, I'm sure it's going to be longer than that because the reaction we've already seen for the limited amount of days of FanFest has just been an absolute hit. Do you think, at least for the next 5 years, some type of anime property will come to FanFest? Because it's just, yeah. Tommy, you think the same thing?
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. They got to. They got to keep the ball rolling in the same type of genres that they're doing. You know, the fantasy, the anime, you know, and so forth.
Can you imagine a meet and greet of My Neighbor Totoro? Can you imagine having that big, fluffy, like cuddly, like rabbit thing as a meet and greet? You know what the line would look like for that thing?
Oh, 3 hours. 3 hours. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it right now. 3 hours. So Brandon Smith said JoJo's Bizarre Adventure would be a FanFest choice.
Mm-hmm.
Giant Peter Show said the new Elio trailer just dropped.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Brandon Smith said Spirit Away is from the studio. What does that say? Gilbin?
Oh, good.
Studio
Ghibli.
Ghibli. Yeah.
Ghibli. Disney was only involved with the initial U.S. distribution.
Okay. So even though that they were just part of the U.S. distributions, I guess then obviously Universal could, you know, could basically use those.
Definitely.
Yeah. And even like a Kiki's Delivery Service meet and greet with like a talking what was her cat's name? Gigi.
Yes.
Yeah, like that would be so cool.
Definitely. And you know, one IP I would like to see, whether it comes to Horror Nights or FanFest, and I'm sure they're going to do both at some point, is a nostalgic Jurassic Park. I think that would really bring homage to the Jurassic Park, you know, fanboy community, because a lot of people that were Jurassic Park fans kind of lost interest when Jurassic World started coming out. I personally thought the Jurassic World, the first movie, was pretty good. After that, it kind of just went downhill for me. I don't know what this new movie with Rebirth is going to be all about. I hope it's going to be good. I do have to say, though, even though the storyline was kind of weird for me for the last one, I do love that they brought back the nostalgic characters. You know what I mean? Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm and all that. I think that was awesome they could do that, because I know the actor that plays Dr. Grant, apparently he posted, I think he posted, or someone posted a long time ago, saying that he actually has cancer. So, you know, it was great for him to actually come back and be part of the Jurassic World franchise. So I'm glad he did that for the time he has left. Hopefully he has it under control. But I would like to see a Jurassic Park come to FanFest and Horror Nights.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I'm right up there with you. They need that. They're long overdue.
Yeah. And I want to just catch up on some chats for a second. Giant Peter Show said Shrek needs to come to FanFest, but I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? Do you think Shrek should? Because Shrek was part of DreamWorks at Universal for quite some time.
I think that they definitely could bring him to FanFest. I'm trying to figure out like in which way, because I do know he already like has a presence in the park, like with Donkey and Shrek. So I honestly would maybe utilize the Kung Fu Panda Theater and maybe get like, because I know that they used to have the Shrek 4D show done in Orlando, but maybe do a variation like Shrek, especially because that's a DreamWorks theater. Because even Shrek and Donkey make a cameo in the pre-show before Kung Fu Panda. You know?
Yeah. So they kind of left it to an homage. You know, if they did bring him to FanFest, one thing I would say is, you know, because we already have Shrek, Fiona, Princess Fiona, and we have Donkey already meet and greet characters inside the park on everyday Universal operations. I would like to see more characters be part of that. If they are going to be part of the Fan Fest, I would like to see other characters show up for that, and maybe have that a walkthrough attraction like Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe where Star Trek was. I would not be opposed to that.
Yeah, Giant Peter Show continues. Just bring more characters from Shrek. They already have Prince Charming, Fairy Godmother, and a lot of the other characters in Universal Beijing.
Yeah, and again, that's what what's so funny, Giant Peter Show and you guys. It's so funny because I've said, even because me and OG have talked about it numerous of times, when it comes to the theme parks and bringing shows or even attractions and these domestic parks, if they're going to duplicate something, I would like these domestic parks to kind of duplicate maybe from the international parks, or maybe get inspiration from the international parks. Because one thing that we've all talked about at one point or another is that Jurassic World Adventure ride in Universal Beijing, and how it would be a great addition to Universal Hollywood, and put that in the footprint of where the Mummy sits, something like that. So the fact that, in Universal Beijing, they have all these Shrek characters as meet and greets, that would be something they can bring over to Universal Hollywood for a Fan Fest event. Because, excuse me, they brought Yoshi. So this is funny, real quick, for Fan Fest. My tour guide, he actually told us that we are the first Universal park to have a Yoshi meet and greet. The very first one. No other Universal park, not even Universal.
Which, that's very odd, because they usually send it off to the international parks first to kind of beta test, and then we end up getting if it's popular enough. So the fact that they're starting with us, that's a very unique opportunity.
Yeah, and something I noticed in FanFest was whether it was the green Yoshi or the two other Yoshis, the blue one or the pink one, and you can only meet those two after doing the egg hunt inside Super Nintendo World. Each Yoshi, didn't matter what color and at what time, all three Yoshis at one point or another had such a long wait. So telling me right now that meet and greet character alone has that much demand means that we should have Yoshi as a permanent meet and greet character at Hollywood.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because the fact that we don't have the Yoshi snack stand, the fact that we don't have the Yoshi attraction, at least give us the meet and greet character at the very least. So,
and then next, I think we'll get Bowser Jr. after that, because they have that in Japan.
Dude, that would be sick, George. Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr. Oh,
dude,
man.
You two are related.
Yes.
Man.
That's pretty good.
Man. Brandon Smith said also some of the background characters who appear in Orlando during the holidays. Interesting. So
I also think too that Universal is kind of honing in on what Disney is doing, because as soon as FanFest is over, it's going to segue right into the mega movie summer kind of thing. So it's even though it's not as projectile as this big event, FanFest, but it's still a cross promotional kind of thing to get people to come into the park.
Definitely. And then Giant Peter Show said Yoshi was in the Japan parade. So they do have him in the parade in Japan, but they don't have him as a meet and greet character. We are the first park to have him as an actual meet and greet character.
Right. And speaking of a meet and greet character, I know this was in the chat way back, but Jared Journeys said, I'm most excited. This was at Disney. I'm most excited for the Walt show, but that comes later. Also, Rex from Toy Story should be fun when they add him as well. So I thought, because again, a lot of these characters, because because I believe that they started Rex as a meet and greet like one time over, I forget which park it was, but like the fact that they're bringing him over to DCA into the year, you know, that's going to be really cool.
Well, see, I want to ask you about that because they have so many different nostalgic characters like that, where they're rare to come out and do meet and greets unless it's some type of event or some type of special occasion. You know, with all the entertainment that got cut from Avengers Campus, do you think that they're really trying to aim for not bringing out those nostalgia characters for meet and greet, George, unless it's a after hours event? Or do you think once at least a lot of the expansion that they want to do with Disneyland Forward is at least a quarter, if not halfway built, do you think they're going to start bringing back more entertainment? Because that's part of
more. Yeah, that's actually a good question. I think more entertainment will eventually slowly trickle in as time goes on. I feel like it may seem like they cut like everything at once, which basically they kind of did, but I think it's because it's just a lot of the maneuvering of the rezoning of like where stuff is going, and we still don't know where things are going. As we talked about earlier, Disney purchased that warehouse for a good chunk of change. I mean, they've been like renting that out for how long? So the fact that they bought it means that they're going to permanently use it for something. And as I said before, that is one little piece of the Disneyland Forward puzzle, because basically what Disneyland Forward is rezoning everything to then eventually reestablish the resort to where we're so used to going to Disneyland now that in the next decade or so, it's not going to look like the Disneyland that we're used to.
No, not at all. But see, you know, one thing I can take away from that is I'm okay with it looking completely different from when it looked back in the early 2000s, even the late 90s, because the way I see it is with Magic Key sales going up, the reservation system still on board and not gone like its counterpart in Florida. The fact that ticket sales are going up, merch prices are going up, food and just everything in between is going up. You know, I'm okay with them expanding and changing things as long as it makes sense. If they're going to just do, you know, cheap things just to say, oh, here, look, we did this, but half the time it doesn't work, you know, that's a problem. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with that. And it seems like Universal, at least in Hollywood, is getting the same picture, or they're starting to. The one thing that I would say with them, with them building the hotel where security is right now, and the fact that they're building 3 security hubs that's basically going to surround City Walk and the entrance in the Universal, is the fact that they would follow the lead finally of at least its counterpart in Orlando and follow their rival Disney and update their damn entry gates, because those fingerprint scanners, I've been saying it for quite some time, they're annoying. I have to admit it. They're very annoying. They don't work half the time. And usually when I go to film updates or I post pictures on social media, I'm there right before the park opens because I do early entry. And a lot of times the fingerprint scanners, they act up and they don't want to work. And they wind up calling the supervisor over to verify, and it takes that much longer to get in the park. So I don't know. I just don't know. One thing I want to bring up, Brandon Smith, he said actually Japan had Yoshi first ever appearance in Universal Park. So you're right about that, Brandon. But the thing is, as a meet and greet character, we actually have the first iteration of that. But yes, you did have Yoshi first as an appearance, just not as a meet and greet. So I just wanted to clarify that. And then Jacob Weller, he said, so you think they'll bring FanFest to Orlando? And are you guys going to watch How You Train Your Dragon live action in theaters? George, I'm going to start with you on that one.
Okay, so the easy one for the How to Train Your Dragon live action in theaters. Absolutely, I'm definitely going to go see that in theaters. I loved even the franchise as the animated. So the fact that of how, but this movie works so well as a live action, and the fact that Gerard Butler reprises his role as Hiccup's dad, and the actor that they got to play Hiccup was like spot on, like literally from like animation cell to like in the flesh. They did very well. I'm so glad that they made Toothless actually look like Toothless, like not like weird, bizarre kind of looking thing. But yes, I'm definitely going to see that in theaters. I do think that's going to, I mean, I know that they added How to Train Your Dragon into Epic Universe, but I also think too that could also potentially add more for FanFest in the coming years. Now, for FanFest in Orlando, they may do a variation of that, but I feel like with FanFest, I feel like that's more of a Universal Hollywood thing, only because like one of the main centerpieces was Back to the Future.
Definitely.
And I feel like you could do that in Universal Orlando, but it's like a knockoff generic, like out here we have an actual set where they filmed on location. Like you can't get that anywhere else.
Oh, definitely. So I think when it comes to FanFest, I'm okay with it going to Orlando, but one of the IPs, like George is saying, one of the IPs that has to be exclusive to Hollywood because it makes sense in every which way you look at it is Hollywood. It's not going to be Orlando because it doesn't make sense. One thing I would say, though, for Orlando as a FanFest property, they could use one of those sound stages that they have on property in the studio park, and they could bring back the Blue Man Group as a walkthrough attraction.
Yeah,
since they had them as a live entertainment show for many years. Tommy, I want to ask you the same question. Basically, what Jacob Weller is saying. Do you think they'll bring FanFest to Orlando, and will you go see How You Train Your Dragon live action in theaters?
I'm kind of leaning towards what George is on. I don't think FanFest is a thing for Florida. I think we have the movie aesthetic over here, and they got Epic Universe and 3 other parks, on top of it. They don't really need FanFest. I'm cool with it just staying over here. They could come travel on this side, So come check us out. Yeah.
So, just before you answer about the movie, I totally agree with you, and that also ties into bringing duplicate lands and duplicate rides and attractions to both domestic parks. I think for an event like this, I agree with both of you. I think it should be a Hollywood exclusive, so people have to fly out here to experience it. So that way, it gives them something to experience instead of saying, oh, well, I live next to Universal Orlando. I could just go experience it there. I don't need to fly to Hollywood. Well, now you have to because it's exclusive. So,
yeah. And to answer the other question about How to Train Your Dragon, I'm 100% going to the movie theater for that. I'll be there probably opening day. Like George said, they got the actor for Hiccup is the kid from Black Phone. So, that guy has a promising future for himself because he's locking in these movies with Universal, Blumhouse. It's all under the same thing. This is pretty crazy, bro. Like, they're already going to start filming 2 soon, I think.
Yeah, it is already like literally locked in for production. Like, and the first one didn't even like release yet. That's crazy.
Right, and a lot of influencers got to watch. Like, I seen, okay, never mind, I forgot his name, but I seen a lot of people already got to watch the movie, and they said it's already like beyond their expectations, and it's longer than the animated, so we'll get some new footage. Yeah,
I was talking with our good friend, Mr. Theme Park Wizard, and because he was asking me, would there be a movie that we could all go see, like in IMAX? And I actually suggested that. I was like, like How to Train Your Dragon live. Like, how perfect would that be to go see in IMAX in City Walk on Universal?
Oh, dude.
Be like,
I'd be so down.
Oh my god,
I'd be so down for that.
Yeah.
Brandon Smith asked, FanFest, would it be possibly in Japan, and all the IPs would be anime based, or do you guys still think it should be a Hollywood exclusive?
That's tough. I mean, oh, go ahead.
No. Oh, go ahead, Tommy.
That's tough. Like, because you know, they already got Resident Evil over there for HHN, and like you could do it. You could keep it over there, or I mean, try it over there. But like I said, I think Hollywood is just, there's nothing like being on a Hollywood lot, like where they film the movie.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, have a rendition of FanFest, like of how it would fit, like, you know, like the Japanese culture and what have you. But like the originality of FanFest, I say keep it home, like keep it where it was conceived, and kind of going off of that, sort of like how they did for FanFest.
Yeah.
And they have the Back to the Future, you know, in where they actually shot the movie. And I know a lot of people probably would disagree with this in a sense, because you're kind of taking away rich cinema land, so to speak. But where they actually shot the classic Universal monster films, how sick would it be to actually get a variation of Dark Universe on the grounds of where they actually shot the film? That's what I was saying.
That's crazy.
That would be dope. I'm not even kidding. That would be awesome. See, that would be a great, that would be just as good as Back to the Future on Hill Valley. That would be,
I'm sorry, even though like Orlando has it first, and I'm for sure it's phenomenal. I'm going to see it on May 22nd. Monsters Unchained, I can't wait to experience it. I can't wait to go to the steakhouse and everything. I love me a good steak, but I think it would just hit home to have that land literally on the grounds that they actually filmed.
Oh yeah,
the movies that transpired that attraction.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'd be so down for that. And then Giant Peter said the head of creatives for HHN Orlando actually attended media preview for FanFest. So they were out here in Hollywood for that. So maybe they are thinking about bringing it to the East Coast. Again, I agree with you guys. It's a West Coast thing, but the fact that they flew out here for that is pretty
I just say, and as I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. I think they should, the capital, but I mean, have it as, and like have Orlando have its own rendition and then have ours out here, because that is, again, I'm not a fan of these kind of mirror copycat kind of things where I get it. It's different for me if they're bringing something over internationally, because really how many opportunities you have going to an international park, you know, but if it's in the same, you know, in the same country, just on different, you know, coastlines, it's like, I want something different. When I lived on the East Coast, I purposely flew all the way over here to experience Cars Land. And for that reason is because it's only in DCA. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're destroying Tom Sawyer's Island and Walt Disney World for
I will say that even though that they're doing that now, again, I don't have an issue with them removing the river. If they did keep the river, I'd be fine with it too. I don't really have a connect. Now, if it was Disneyland's river, then I would have an issue.
Oh yeah.
I would have an issue. But the fact that they're adding cars to Magic Kingdom, I don't really have a problem with that, because it's not a copycat version of the one up here. You could use the same IP, but give a different adventure, give a different experience.
Storyline. A different storyline for sure. So that way it's not. See, that's what I was saying even about Dark Universe. Even if they brought it out here on the West Coast, they can tell a completely different storyline, but use the same IP. There's enough to go around, I think. So,
well, because they were supposed to put in something with the creature from the Black Lagoon. That was supposed to be the third attraction that was supposed to go in there. Now they still very well may put it in there. There is some expansion area that's still over there. But if they don't utilize that, take that concept and bring it over here.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think so. George, we're going to be looking at your videos, your live streams for that. So I'm sure you'll capture all that stuff. Just to go through the last remaining comments, Jacob said he's going to see it in 4DX at Regal. So he's definitely going to see it. And then he also said, I agree, seeing it there would be looking at the Black Lagoon is eerie. Yeah, because the creature from the Black Lagoon not too long ago, he just celebrated his 70th birthday, 70th anniversary of the creature of the Black Lagoon. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But I want to thank everybody for joining tonight's live stream. Shout out to our amazing guests, TommyToonWorld, George the Italiano from Citrico Central. Definitely go check out his brand new channel, a sister branch of Orange Grove 55. And again, shout out to Orange Grove 55. Great to have him on as well. It was an amazing talk. I cannot wait to see you gentlemen in 4 days from now at the Disneyland 70th. And I might have to wear a hard hat around those popcorn stands, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. And shout out to everyone in the chat. You guys were absolutely amazing. Definitely go check out my last live stream with TommyToonWorld and JP Land 21. It was such an honor to have him on the show as well, his first time. And it's not going to be the last, I can assure you of that. But Tommy, we're going to start with you, sir. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram at TommyToon_. That's where a lot of the pictures are going right away for Disney 70th. So follow me on there. And YouTube at TommyToonWorld. Man, George, it's good seeing you, man. I can't wait to see you down in Anaheim for the 70th. I will be there. Conductor, we're going to be linked up all weekend, hitting everywhere in the book, man. I can't wait. I'm excited, man. Thanks for having me on like usual.
Definitely. Always great to have you on, Tommy. George, it's always an honor to have you on. Again, congratulations to the new sister channel of Orange Grove 55, Citrico Central. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely. You could find me on X at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Bluesky under the Disney Italiano. And you could also find me on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. But more so, you can find me on my brand new channel, Citrico Central, where I do a lot of in-park vlogging. I'm going to be doing a lot more lives here in studio, and I'm also going to be doing them on location in the parks. I'm going to try to do a live stream during the 70th. I'm going to try to do a live stream for the opening day for everybody for Epic Universe, so definitely check that out. Also, too, I'm an affiliate of the Magic Candle Company. So if you go on magiccandlecompany.com and you're not in the parks, but you want that Disney magic brought right into your home, they have many different scents of candles, sprays, hand soaps, oils, whatever you're into, they have it. Upon checkout, use my promo code Citrico15 for 15% off your entire order. And that's not just for a one time. You could use it as many times as you like. You'll get 15% off. And if you end up messaging me on Instagram, either my personal one, which is the Disney Italiano, or the channel Instagram, Citrico Central, that you've made a purchase, if you give me your information, I will send out a Citrico Central keychain.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That's fire,
bro. Yeah,
dude,
man, George, I need to get on a bar talk or a walk and talk with you this weekend.
Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it down there. We'll do it. We'll do a bar chat or a walk and talk 70th anniversary edition for Disneyland.
Hey, Tommy,
let's do it.
The only thing is, if one of those fruity drinks are at the bar, just make sure George goes past 3 because I really want to see real Italiano. Man,
we're gonna have to get a lot of drinks, man.
Oh, absolutely. I'm your host, Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Bluesky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can find me every Sunday for Conductor Sunday live stream, or find me anytime I go live. Definitely turn on those notification buttons, and definitely stay tuned, because again, I am going to be at the Disneyland 70th with TommyToonWorld, George the Italiano, Orange Grove 55, many other content creators, Five Fires, David from Fresh Baked. I'm sure the whole entourage is going to be there, so it's going to be definitely an exciting time to be there. Also, just so you guys know in the chat, I am remonetized back on YouTube, so I do have 2 different memberships on the channel now, so you can definitely go check that out. And don't forget to like and subscribe to not only Theme Park Conductor, but all of our amazing guests tonight. And after tonight, I will be posting the information that George mentioned about the Magic Candle Company. And I will have that in the description, so that way when you watch this video, you can go check out that link and feel like Disneyland at home. So have a good night, everybody. Peace out.